here, and this format does eliminate great teams before they get to the national championships. But I'm telling you what, I knew that this rotation would be a hard-fought battle, and it was so close. I mean, it went down to the last two performers on the last event, and I just can't say enough wonderful things about the quality of competition and how this meet has been managed.
Coach Conisfield?
A few days ago, I started thinking, whose bright idea was this to go to 4 teams? Although I've been on the same page with Dee Dee and a lot of other people for about 10 years now trying to get it to this format. It is much more nerve-wracking.
Oh, it's clean.
Oh
it's a clean meet.
Gosh. But I'm kind of a little fangirling right now because not only am I sitting between 2 incredible student athletes, but as long as I've been in this sport, there are a lot of great athletes out there, great gymnasts, but there aren't that many that transcend sport the way these two do with their artistry and their cleanliness, and they bring this whole different level of performance to athletics. And we are called artistic gymnastics, and it's like to be sitting next to Sarah Finnegan and Kyla Ross is a bit overwhelming for me right now.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions for our student athletes for the media. If you would please identify which student athlete you'd like to answer that question as you're asking it, we would appreciate it. Scott?
Is there a mic? No.
Go.
Scott Reveley with the Baton Rouge Advocate. Sarah, just you guys started with some adversity right off the bat, but you had did it in a way help you guys focus for the last 3 routines, the rest of that routine and the last 3 routines? Did it end up working to your advantage at all?
I mean, we've practiced these situations before. We always say, hey, if someone's down, the next person steps up. But, you know, I mean, we've seen that lineup throughout the season hit routine after routine, and then, you know, just a little mistake on the first person. We've done that before, and so we know how to handle these situations. And we talked about, hey, like, you know, it's the first event, we still have 3, and so we want to finish off strong. And so I was just really proud of how my team handled that. And we kept the energy up, we kept it going, and we finished off well.
Reggie Chapman, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. Sarah, we've talked about it all week, but just this format, you just talked about it. How much more nerve-wracking is it just, you know, knowing only 2 go versus normal?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You know, last year it was 12 teams, this year it's 8, and then in the final day it was 6 teams and now only 4. It definitely kicks up the competition. It's definitely tough. I mean, our rotation, we had great teams out there. They did a phenomenal job on the floor, but it came down to those little details. I mean, you could see it in the score. It was so close up until the very end, and so I'm honored to be a part of, you know, this new format and make history. You know, say, hey, we're one of the teams that made the first final, or what are we calling it? Four on the floor. Yeah, that. So it's cool to be, you know, one of the top teams.
Ashley Redis with NBC and Fox in Baton Rouge. Sarah, how do you keep going, you know, with Christina, obviously a rough start for her today. How do you guys help her pick her back up and get her ready for tomorrow, get the team back in that mindset of doing this all over again tomorrow?
Tomorrow's a clean slate, you know. Every single person on that floor is going to start from 0 up. And so kind of just take what we learned from today, hey, like what can we make better? And, you know, kind of like, I don't want to like say erase it from our mind, but you know, it's a new day, it's a new me, and it's a new page. And so, you know, Christina's done that routine multiple times. We know that she can hit off, and so I think today was kind of just getting the nerves out of our system, and tomorrow, you know, we're going to be confident and ready to go.
Question right here.
Kyla, I just was wondering, with the new format, you guys kind of obviously have a bit more pressure on you having to defend the title anyway. What was it like to deal with sort of the pressure today on top of the pressure that you know you're going to be facing tomorrow? How do you kind of balance?
Yeah, as a team, we always say that we perform our best under pressure, and I feel like we had a really solid meet overall. I know there was still a few mistakes, but I feel like we've had this pressure all year. We've had so many people come to our meets, a lot of TV and press, so I feel like we've been able to handle that. Just being able to train every day, kind of in that mindset, and knowing, okay, this is the routine I'm going to hit, and then just translating that into competition, just knowing that right before you go, this is practice, and so you're going to go up and kind of feel like this is training. So I think that's what we did today.
Question down here, Paul?
Louise Rednowski from the Wall Street Journal. For Kyla and Sarah both, what do you think elite gymnastics could learn from the NCAA? And at this point in your careers, what have you learned from being in the NCAA?
I mean, just overall this competition, I feel like just the amount of joy and collective energy, like not only just the individual teams, but all the teams overall. I feel like just everyone is supporting each other 100%, and they know that this is just gymnastics. It's something that we get to do. We have the privilege to be able to do it in college and with our teammates to train alongside every single day. So I feel like it's such a great learning lesson, and also it is so inspiring to so many young gymnasts, or not even young gymnasts, but young athletes around the world, just to see the camaraderie between each person on the team, and we're all fighting for a bigger purpose than just ourselves.
Yeah, I think the elite world is kind of transitioning into that. What Kyla said, it's very much you find the joy and happiness again in the sport, because it is more of a team sport as opposed to elite, where it's kind of more individualized. But I mean, like she also said, all these girls look up to you, and you want them to see that side. I think in elite, it's kind of just the old, like hard down, just train. That's all there is, and then you go and compete. But we're here. It's a sport. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy it. You want to look back and not regret anything, and take each moment, and soak it all in. And so I think that's kind of what I've learned in collegiate gymnastics, just kind of taking a step back and say, this is bigger than gymnastics, I want to make an impact on my teammates, on the people around me, and also as well as those little girls that also look up to me. And so I've kind of realized to just take a step back and look past just, the cool flips that we do.
Question right here.
Michael Angeli, Los Angeles Magazine, and my question is for Kyla. You guys like sandbagging it, like for the MP? My real
I think she
question
knows what
is,
sandbagging means.
how often today did it occur to you that this is your coach's last semifinal?
I don't know. I feel like we haven't thought about it too much. I think when we go out on the floor, we're doing it for her, we're doing it for our teammates, and we just want to make each and every person proud. And so we're not trying to think about it too much because we know it's going to come to an end tomorrow, but we're just enjoying every moment, really staying in the moment, being present, because we don't want to be able to miss any of those special moments.
We'll take one more question from our student athletes here.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask that same question, but can you sum up what you've learned from Miss Val in your time in gymnastics?
I always say I've learned, I feel like, to find my voice and really to let out my personality with Miss Val. I feel like coming into UCLA, I was more shy and reserved, but I feel like with the help of Miss Val and the coaches and my teammates, I've really been able to step up and show who I am, show my personality, and really be able to inspire not only my teammates, but all the little girls that do this sport. So I feel like just being able to have that voice and that platform, she's really helped me with that.
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah and Kyla. If you guys want to go, you may. And then we'll start taking some questions for our two coaches now. Go ahead.
This is for Dee. So obviously, y'all started on beam. It wasn't the rotation you wanted. I talked to Ashton that yesterday, and she described beam as your best event. What was your kind of message to the team, knowing that, you struggled on your best event? How did you kind of get them up to do their best, probably their best vault and bars rotations of the season?
That we had to continue to build momentum. The first person had a fall, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we wanted to see the momentum build, and I hate to learn from adversity, and I don't want to use that term at all, but it made us tougher, it made us more focused, and a team that was determined. Kind of our message to them moving on was set your jaw and let's go get it. You know what that means?
No. She keeps trying to tell me what boat shoes are too.
Right here.
Those are boat shoes?
Yeah.
Speaking in Southern California News Group, Miss Val, how would you describe the energy in the arena as you guys were going to floor to help you put up the kind of score you did?
We always think of floor as a floor party, so it's hard not to get up and really perform your best when you're on the floor. I mean, I believe 100% that the music is what dictates the movement, and so anytime you have an event that has music with it, you know, if we had music on balance beam, we would probably actually have better routines. But they know they're a great floor team, and they know that they love to perform.
I can tell you their floor music inspired us on bars.
You're welcome.
Question here in a second.
It's actually going to be a two-part question. Dee Dee, you just kind of answered it a little bit. Having somebody like Miss Val come in the sport who didn't have a gymnastics background, how has that helped the sport?
Well, we've had to explain things to her along the way.
Besides boat shoes.
But I mean, she does have an extreme artistic flair, and she's had that since she went to UCLA as a choreographer and then was named the head coach. And it's just been a process to watch, and surrounding yourself with great coaches that have strength in other areas is what success in this sport's all about.
And Ms. Val, have you done anything differently coming into this meet as opposed to others because of approaching your
No,
meet?
I need to make sure that I didn't do anything differently. It's kind of, it would have been easy for me just to kind of say, oh, anything you do is okay, it's my last season, whatever. But we had to stay the course. Piggybacking on what you asked, Dee Dee, and me coming in as from the theater world, I learned so much from Dee Dee, Sarah, and Suzanne in the SEC about how to compete every single time you're out there. And that was so foreign to me. It's like people have asked me what I'm going to take with me into my next ventures. And that is one thing that really stands out. Even when I just look at you, I see this healthy, competitive nature that it's really fun and important to train hard and compete to win. And at the end of the day, Dee Dee has always been so great at this that even if you don't win, you can still feel proud of your efforts. It's not all about winning. And that was something that I absolutely knew nothing about, and I learned all of that from them in the SEC.
Question in the back.
Dee Dee, I was going to ask you, talk a little bit about Sarah and Kennedy and just how they were able to, I guess, just hit when they needed to hit, and especially when you guys were down.
Well, one thing we say all the time is the pride and the tradition of the LSU Tigers. And we build to the end of our lineup, and we know we have some weaknesses in the lineup. And it's always, let's get to Sarah, let's get to Kennedy, and bring it home in the end. And I think that they were ready for that. They accepted that responsibility and just competed like champions. It was amazing.
Second over here.
Dee Dee, with the new format, how different was scoreboard watching in this?
Oh, isn't that amazing? It's like a football game. When the meet's over, you know the score and you know who won. And it came down to the last two performers for floor and the last two performers, and the other scores for the other two teams were already posted, and you can see it. It's not like the scores are a secret. When we had the 6-team format, nobody knew who was winning until it was over, and then they had to haggle about it, and it took them 15, 20 minutes to get it done. This was over when it was over, and that's the beauty of this format. And the other thing they asked a little while ago about the elite program, the elite difference. The difference is this is a 10. We're a 10. And when somebody's got a 9.9 or a 9.95, they are so close to excellence. And our kids have the ability to achieve perfection, which is great. And then they don't have to go out there and beat themselves up because of somebody over in Romania and Russia that are making up rules. That, you got to understand that? I know you were waiting to answer that question.
I just feel that when we went away from the 10 internationally, it hasn't killed the sport, but I've always said and believe wholeheartedly sport is entertainment. And sort of get our fans built, it has to be understandable and entertaining. It can't all just be about figuring out how to manipulate the rules so that certain countries win. And that's what's been happening for decades.
Exactly.
And so we are really, I think that's one reason why the USAG really looks to college, because we're the ones that are packing the house week after week after week after week after week.
Yeah.
Miss Val,
Yeah,
floor exercise.
yes,
Your second athlete.
yes.
What does this mean? You were doing this.
What are you talking
The
about?
shrug. You know the shrug that she does.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Nia? Who? My second athlete?
The second one on the floor, Nia, I guess.
Nia?
I think, yeah.
Was I twitching? I don't know.
No.
You were signaling her.
Oh, probably. I'm not gonna tell you my signals.
Getting run.
Good, Scott.
Dee Dee, February 8th, you guys, it was the low point of your season. You guys got beat badly at Kentucky. Lexi, injured her arm. Did you still have faith at that point that this could be a team that reached the national final?
Yeah, we did. And
what did you base?
Well, what I based it on was the kids taking control of themselves and not relying on us motivating them like a football coach would motivate a football team. I mean, these kids circled up and took control of what they can control and took control of their destiny. And I think what we saw tonight was an example of this team pulling itself through the knotholes throughout the season and coming out on the other end with a SEC championship, a regional championship, and make it into this incredible 4 teams at the end.
We'll take a couple more questions for our coaches right here in the middle.
Mars on floor today.
She's fine. Luckily, we are deep on that event, and our student athletes know that they need to warm up well in order to compete. And it's not because we don't have faith in someone that doesn't warm up well, but it does introduce stress to the rest of the team. And so that's why she was pulled.
And then a second question to follow up on something you said earlier. What have you learned about the meaning of competing in college gymnastics that you're obviously not familiar with? You talk a lot about how you came in as a dancer, you don't win things in ballet, and you were just talking about how you learned from different coaches about being a competitor.
I had to learn to care about winning, and that it was important. And I kept trying to tell myself for years, no, it's not. It's not that important. As long as the athletes are learning stuff and they're good and they're going out in the world and making a positive difference, it's okay if they don't win. But I shifted that thinking, no, if you're going to do gymnastics, do it to the best of your ability. And if you're that talented, then train and compete to win. And that was the shift that happened, because it's really fun when you win.
It's not hard being happy,
Our last question up here.
To both of you, what are you telling your athletes tonight?
Rest and hydrate. Go to bed, rest and hydrate.
Rest and hydrate, go to bed, rest and hydrate.